Hey guys, welcome to today's book review. So today we're going to be talking about David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, right? If anyone hasn't read this, I do recommend it. It's a very good book. It's not for everyone, first thing I'll say. The reason why I say that is because it's quite cut and dry. It tells you exactly how it is, and if you don't like hard talk, just get on with it type things, then it may be not for you. But it's super inspirational, and he's got incredible stories to tell. So what I took away from this book were things that were basically how to keep yourself from feeling demotivated when you're trying to achieve something. Okay, so always asking a question: why am I here? What am I doing? What am I doing this for? He always brings it back to the reason why he started doing his military training, for example, or decided to do a chin-up challenge and everything else. Without spoiling the book, it's definitely worth a read for the things that he's achieved and how he's gone through achieving them. One of the biggest things I also took away from it is that humans change through study, habit, and stories. Okay, now that really resonated with me because ultimately, to change your life, you have to be able to give up things and introduce new things, right? So, and how do you know about those new things? It's by telling stories, hearing stories, and studying different people and studying different ways of doing things. So I think that there's a big part of his book that I resonate with about looking to learn new things and bring them into your life and trying new things and reading lots and speaking to lots of people and just basically getting your network out there. That's what I really thought was really good about this. He also said life is a mind game. Totally agree. I think that you are capable of as much as you think you can do. So it all comes back to the mindset of how much can I push myself, right? And he actually has this rule. It's called the 40% rule, and he reckons, and I kind of believe it in some respects, but it's harder to think when you're actually in it. But when you are absolutely dead and you cannot do any more physical exertion on a particular exercise, he's quite exercise based. You're only at 40%, and that 40% is able to be risen, and you're able to get more out of it the more you strengthen your mind in those times. So when you're like really tired and you've just run the furthest you've ever run and you're literally like dragging your feet, you can still go a bit more, because the next time you go to that stage, you get to that point where you're dragging your feet at the same amount of distance, you've been there before, so you can tell yourself, I've been here before, I can get through this, I can do this, I didn't die, I didn't fall off a cliff, I am going to be fine, right? So just push yourself through those boundaries and you will stretch your comfort zone and get better and stronger and be a much better human for it. Okay. They talks about the sympathetic nervous system, right, which essentially is your fight or flight response, and you have two choices when that happens. You either go or you stay and you fight, and he is a fighter, so he will go into every situation and think, well, what have I come here for? Why am I here again? And make sure that he gets the job done, because he's just going to fight the urges to stop and fight the desire to give up, and just crack on with the task at hand. Okay. What else have we got? He uses quite a lot of productivity apps. One in particular is called Moment. It talks about how if you've got a really busy schedule, you think you've got a busy schedule, then you're able to essentially minimize the amount of wasted time you have by using apps and productivity hacks. So let's, for example, say that you want to start doing something, introduce something into your life, but you haven't got the time for it. What can you get rid of that's not really serving you? Where can you find time? Can you get up earlier? Can you go to bed later? Can you, still getting in your bodily functional needs, eating, sleeping, drinking, all that sort of stuff, but you find the time if you really want it. And that's what he kind of expresses a lot. So, he trained for ultra marathons. We have to do hundreds of miles a week in running, and he found the time to do it and work a full-time job and be a dad. So yeah, he's a pretty inspirational character. If you really want to get into it, get addicted to hard work. And that is exactly what it says on the tin. If you like hard work and if you like to be someone in life and do something with yourself and actually achieve goals, get used to hard work. It's never, ever going to be easy doing something new, right? And even when you've started doing something new, there's always a next stage which is going to be harder than the one before, because you're still striving to get there. The quote goes, there's no learning in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the learning zone. So it's just, it is what it is. And every single time you push yourself to your limits, think about pushing yourself that 5% more, 10% more. And if you do that every single time, you will get stronger here and in here, and you'll be able to do things that you never thought you could ever do. Okay. The last tip, which I'll finish on, is expanding your knowledge, right? If you are someone who is good at something great. Use your harness your skills that you're good at for that particular thing. But if you really want to push yourself, take those skills and transfer them to something else that you really want to get good at. So if you're a good runner and you maybe want to get into triathlon, you need to know how to swim and cycle, and you're not very good at cycling, push yourself and force yourself into those positions and get yourself to a point where you're like, I'm going to be a good cyclist, and use what you can do, you know from running to into cycling, and you will get there. But yes, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Really good read. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Thanks very much for watching.